Prior to 1943, the Navy did not see a use for a helicopter. But events in the North Atlantic would change that. American ships crossing to supply England with food and weapons were being tormented and sunk by packs of German submarines called U-boats.
There was not an easy solution to locate those U-boats and then attack them. One of the ideas was using the helicopter. You could put some depth bombs on it, at least chase off the submarines, if not actually kill them.
But no existing helicopter could carry the weight of a 2,000-pound torpedo.
The PV-2 could hardly lift my father, who was flying it.
What was needed was an enormous leap beyond the PV-2. Helicopter technology was in its infancy. Most, including the Navy, thought the aircraft that they envisioned would be years in the making.
Dad went directly back to the drawing board.
He studied a myriad of the designs that worked and didn't work and came up with a design he could bring to them.
Only months after his first meeting with the Navy, Piasecki returned with his design for the world's first heavy-lift helicopter. His proposal was rejected. The Navy did not believe Piasecki's design could be built and told him so.
The Navy was doing everything it could to try and get out from any sort of obligation to develop helicopters. This ultimately failed because Senator Truman's Defense Investigation Committee decided that the helicopter was an important solution to the U-boat menace.
Formed in 1941, the Truman Committee was a special Senate committee chaired by then-Senator Harry S. Truman to oversee the U.S. military's war production plans. The committee saw the potential of vertical flight and forced the Navy's hand. The Navy was ordered to develop a large helicopter.
It's the U.S. Navy acting out of desperation. The design that Piasecki had proposed was a large helicopter, something that had never been built before. The Navy officials had the full expectation that he was going to fail.
Finally, on January 1st, 1944, the PV Forum received a contract from the Navy calling for the construction of the first prototype of a large transport helicopter. What followed was months of round-the-clock effort. The workforce expanded to 80 employees. They moved to a new factory. Frank was involved in every decision.
Dad was the test pilot, and that close connectivity, flying the product right back to the design engineers, and that quick iteration is what enabled his team to develop aircraft in such rapid speed.
Piasecki's concept solved many of the problems that plagued the helicopter. It had two main rotors, one over the cockpit and one over the tail, so it allowed for a larger fuselage that could carry more men and supplies. With the rotors turning in opposite directions, they countered the effects of each other's torque. And two rotors produced greater lift, so that the helicopter could carry the loads the Navy needed.
That allowed for the scaling up of the helicopter into a useful machine.
They called their prototype the dog ship.
Typically, rotorcraft development spans a long time, 3 years, 4 years.
From contract signing on New Year's Day to first flight was about 13 months.
The dog ship was rolled out in March 1945. With no outer skin, open to the elements, Frank and a co-pilot made the first test flight.
Piasecki gets credit for really the first successful large helicopter ever built.
The PV Forum had gone from the PV-2, which could barely hold the pilot, to a large helicopter that could hold 8 to 10 passengers and carry nearly 2,000 pounds. No longer just a prototype, it was designated the HRP-1.
It really opened people's eyes at that time. The light bulb kind of finally went off in the United States Navy that